When we talk about moving the spine or spine mobility, oftentimes the neck is left out of the conversation. The neck or your cervical spine is your most mobile part of the spine, and it's really important for everyday movements and for your overhead lifts. So if you're feeling pain in your neck during your overhead lifts, or if you've been staring at a screen, sitting at your desk, or driving for a long period of time, then it may be time to move that neck. And I'm going to show you in this video how to move the neck through each of its articulations to get the most out of your active neck mobility. So I'm going to be using a stick. You can use something similar, a stick mobility stick, a dowel, or even a broomstick. If you don't have something with you, you can use a wall or do this lying on the floor, or you can simply use your hands. When the stick is placed behind my head, right at the base of the skull, you're just gonna place your head either on the floor or on the wall, or if you have access to the shoulder mobility, you can bring the back of your head into your hands. When the stick is across my shoulders, like a barbell, you can do the same thing, press the back of your shoulders into a wall or the floor, or if you don't have access to any of that, you could just bring your hands to your shoulders, which will remind the shoulders to stay down and back and keep the chest open to really isolate the neck. So let's get started. You're gonna take your stick and you're gonna place it right at the base of your neck. This is your occipital lobe. So I'm placing it right at the base here. We're gonna be using that stick as feedback to retract the chin. So because our lives are so focused forward and down, we have a tendency to protrude the chin and protract out this way. In order to get the most out of your neck movement, you need to be able to retract the chin here, this way. This is going to be the starting point for all of our neck movements. So let's just isometrically practice that retraction of the chin. So again, stick is going to be at the base of the head, right at the occipital lobe, and you're going to pull your chin back and in. Now you're not dropping your chin down towards your chest. We're just pulling the chin straight back in, look straight ahead of you. And as you're doing this, you're gonna feel some pressure right where that stick meets the back of your head. Keep that tension there. It's only about 30 to 40% of your max effort, not much. And make sure that the rib cage is not flaring as you do this movement. Keep the connection between the ribs and hips as if there's a rubber band here, pulling them together. Now release that tension and let's do that 2 more times. Find retraction of the chin. We're gonna pull the chin in, pressing the back of the head into the stick and hold that tension. You may feel a stretch across the front or the backs of the shoulders, and that's just gonna open up your neck a little bit more. So we know that we're really isolating the neck from the shoulders. And then release that tension. And let's do that 1 more time. Find that retraction. If you were working at 30%, maybe you can increase that tension to 40% for this rep. And release. So now let's work from that retracted position, neck flexion. So a lot of times when we think of neck flexion, we think of dropping that chin down towards the chest. Now, as I drop my chin down towards the chest, I also get movement in my mid back here. I want to start from that retracted position and move just the neck, which is right at this bony landmark right at the base of the neck. And I'm just trying to move those vertebrae. So take your stick again, or the wall, place it across the shoulders, and you're gonna find some tension here. So I'm pressing with my hands the stick into my shoulders, which is gonna keep that chest nice and open. Now you're going to find that retracted position without the stick and maintain that retraction as you pull your chest out. So I'm really trying to curl just that neck. You're giving yourself a massive double chin. Hold that and slowly come back up. And let's go again. Each time trying to get a little deeper range of motion. You may feel a big stretch in the back of the neck, and that is really our goal here, is isolation of the neck from the rest of the spine. And slowly curl it back up. Go ahead, find retraction. Let's go 1 more time into neck flexion. Curling the neck Bringing the chin in, make sure that the rib cage is not flaring. So you'll realize that you don't have as much motion as you maybe thought you had. And come back up. So you can keep the stick across the shoulders, low or high. And now we're gonna work into neck extension. So from that retracted position, once again, I'm going to extend the neck, and instead of looking up this way and crunching the back of my neck and leaning forward in the shoulders, I'm going to try to extend my neck so my head is behind my body. And then come back up, feel taller than before. So go ahead, find that retraction and move just 1 centimeter at a time. We're going very slowly up into that neck extension, trying to bring your head slightly behind that stick. And then come back center. Get taller in that spine. Let's go for 2 more. Retract the neck, and then you're gonna extend, bring that head behind you. Try not to arch the rest of your spine. And come back center. This is gonna feel like strength training if you haven't done this in a while. Retract and then extend, looking up towards the ceiling or the sky. And come back center. All right, so that's your retraction, flexion, and extension of the neck. Let's get into some rotation of the neck. So you're gonna bring your stick back to the occipital lobe at the base of the skull where your hairline is. And let's practice creating some tension on this stick while in that retracted position. So from this position here, I'm gonna try to lengthen the stick between my hands. So we're just opening up the arm lines a little bit more to create a little bit more tension for more mobility through the neck. And now shorten the stick. Try to push that stick together. As I'm doing this, I'm still pushing the back of my head into that stick. Let's do that 1 more time. Lengthen the stick and pull. You'll feel the tissues across the shoulders starting to light up and warm up. And now shorten the stick, pushing in on that stick. Maintain that tension in the back of the head. So we're gonna keep shortening that stick throughout this movement. Keep pressing the back of the head into the stick, but now we're gonna rotate. So you're gonna turn your head to your right, trying to bring the right ear towards the stick and hold that rotation. The head is gonna stay in contact with the stick the entire time. Keep shortening that stick. Keep the tension on the back of the head with the stick as you come center, and then reverse the movement, looking over to the left. Find as much rotation as you can here. Keep shortening that stick. And then slowly come back center. Now let's do the same thing while lengthening the stick. Pull that stick apart. Maintain that tension back of the head, pressing into the stick as you turn and look to your right. See if you can eke out a little more rotation in that neck here. And slowly come back center and over to the left. Keep lengthening that stick. Keep contact between that head and the stick. And slowly rotate back center. Now double check. Is your rib cage tight? Is your chin retracted? And now release that tension. So let's bring the stick down to the shoulders and we'll work some lateral flexion. We've got 1 more piece to the puzzle before we start putting them all together. So stick is against the shoulders. Now this is really going to be important to maintain shoulder stability. As we bend to the side laterally, the shoulders have a tendency to go with us. So keep that tension between the stick and the shoulders, retract the chin, and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Now, as you're doing that, you're gonna feel a big stretch on the left side of your neck and shoulder. Embrace the stretch, okay? Less is more. I want you to isolate the neck rather than going further by pulling the shoulders with you. Now let's slowly come back center. Retract the chin and over to the left. Bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Now you're gonna feel a big stretch on the right side of the neck and shoulder. Make sure you're breathing in this position. Try not to let that shoulder drop, so you're gonna pull that right side of the stick down more. And come back center. Let's do that one more time each side. Retract and see if you can drop the ear just a little bit closer to that shoulder. And exhale to come back center. And let's reverse it. Over to the left, dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Make sure nothing else in the body is moving. And slowly come back center. All right, let's take a break from that stick position. Roll out the shoulders a little bit. So that's a lot of isolation of the neck from the rest of the body. Now we're gonna start putting it all together into a neck car or neck control articular rotation. So in our controlled articular rotations, we are taking our joints through every articulation that it possesses actively. So we're actively going through each articulation of the neck slowly and smoothly. Here's how we're gonna build it. We're gonna build from the lateral flexion, and we're gonna go forward, and then we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna build it all together. The stick is gonna go behind the shoulders. So again, we're gonna make sure that the shoulders stay nice and still in isolation from the neck. I'm gonna face this way. So we're gonna start again with that retraction. We're gonna go into our lateral flexion, bringing the left ear towards the left shoulder. Then we're going to rotate from this position. So I'm going to tell you to rotate your chin towards your left shoulder. Keep that retraction, so don't stick out and jut your chin to the shoulder. Try to keep that retraction. It's not going to actually reach your shoulder. Then you're going to rotate back to lateral flexion, turning the head, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder, looking straight ahead, and then come through the center. Let's do that on the opposite side. So you're gonna drop the right ear towards the right shoulder, finding that stretch. Now intensify the stretch, rotate, bringing the chin towards that right shoulder. Again, towards, not to. It won't be able to actually reach that shoulder. Then rotate back to lateral flexion and come back through the center. Let's do that again. Lateral flexion. Then we add the rotation, turning that chin towards the shoulder. Rotate back to lateral flexion. And slowly come through the center, over to the right ear to the right shoulder. Add rotation, turn the chin towards the shoulder. Rotate back to lateral flexion and come back up. So now let's add neck flexion to this movement. So we're gonna go back over to the left, start exactly the same. Left ear towards the left shoulder. Turn the chin towards the left shoulder. Now you're going to trace the collarbone with your chin. Now remember, you're going through flexion, so we're not pulling the chin down towards the collarbone. We're pulling that chin in towards neck flexion, all the way across the right collarbone. So now the chin is reaching towards the right shoulder. Then you're gonna rotate back to lateral flexion, right ear to the right shoulder, and bring the neck up. Now let's reverse that movement. That was a lot. So let's go right ear to right shoulder. Rotate from there, chin to the right shoulder. Now trace the collarbone with that chin, major double chin here as you go over to the left. Now the chin's towards the left shoulder. Rotate left ear towards the left shoulder and back up. Let's do that one more time, a little bit quicker. Left ear to the left shoulder, lateral flexion. Rotate the chin towards the shoulder. Scrape and trace the collarbone with that chin as you go over to chin to the right shoulder. Turn that right ear to the right shoulder and up. Now reverse it. Right ear to the right shoulder. Rotate the chin to the shoulder. Trace the collarbone over to the left. Back to lateral flexion. And up. We're almost there. There's one more half. So we're gonna go back to the left side, left ear to the left shoulder. Now we're going to draw a semicircle with the chin. It's gonna go out and around into extension. Can't forget that extension. Over to the right ear is gonna drop to the right shoulder. And let's add that rotation. So let's go to the rotation, chin to the shoulder, and rotate back to lateral flexion, right ear to the right shoulder. Pull the chin out and around through your spine, your neck extension. Try to make it nice and smooth as you drop the left ear towards the left shoulder and rotate. Let's go one more time each way. Rotate the left ear to the left shoulder. Pull that chin out and around. Right ear to right shoulder. Rotate the chin. Now drop the right ear to the right shoulder again. Last time around through extension. And drop the chin and rest. Let's slowly come out of that position with the shoulders. Give the shoulders a little break, and now we're gonna go through the entire movement. Flexion, rotation, lateral flexion, extension, over to the other side. So it's basically like we're drawing a big circle with the chin, but it's a very slow, smooth, and intentional circle with the chin. All right, so let's do 2 on each side, nice and slow, and I guarantee your neck is gonna feel amazing afterwards. So go ahead and set up that stick across the shoulders again, and here we go. Let's start with that retraction. Let's pull the chin into flexion. And let's scrape, trace the collarbone to the right, bringing the chin to the right shoulder. Now drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Now from here, we're gonna go into extension. Draw out and around with that chin, into extension, over to the left. Now the left ear is dropping towards the left shoulder. Find that rotation, chin to the shoulder, and trace the collarbone back in front. Bring the neck up. Now let's reverse that circle. We go to flexion, chin goes up and in. Trace the collarbone to the left, drop the left ear to the left shoulder, pull the chin out and around, right ear to the right shoulder, turn the neck, chin to the shoulder, scrape it down, and back up. Let's go one more time each way. Chin up and in. Control that rib cage as you trace the chin to the shoulder, drop the right ear to the right shoulder, out and around, through extension, left ear to the left shoulder, rotate, bring the chin towards the shoulder, back in front, bring that head up, one more to the left, pull the chin up and in, pull the chin over to the left, drop the left ear to the left shoulder, pull the chin out and around slowly through extension, control as you round that corner to lateral flexion, turn that chin in, come back in, and rest. All right, so that was a lot of neck movement and neck stretching. This is gonna take a few tries to fully understand in your brain and in your body. So come back and keep trying this movement, and eventually you'll be able to do this as part of your warm-up after you've been sitting at your desk or as part of your morning movement routine. Thanks so much. If you liked this video, please share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.